I'm back. Road Rants. On 2 items, we're going to roll podcast style. Video podcast, completely informal. And yes, sir, and ma'ams, I'm smoking a cigarette. I'm starting to realize I'm doing these videos to actually relax, unwind. It's been a couple of days since I put a video up over here, and I apologize for that. Things went crazy with the Canon Hennett story over on the other channel. And, Rowdy? No. I don't think I'm going to edit that out. I should probably, but I'm not going to. Because Rowdy's getting old, and he's not going to be here just a hell of a lot longer. So, you know what? Come here, Rowdy. Rowdy, come here. Come here. Hold on. Rowdy boy. Say hello. Hey, Rogers. Say hello, Rowdy boy. Oh, he's kind of being shy. Okay. Yeah. Hello. I love you, Rowdy. I did that just so I'd have it later. So, oh, he's mad. He just walked over here and went, asshole. Podcast style, let's talk about the channels. This channel, I'm still trying to get 4 videos out a week. I've got the next entry in the Friday the 13th countdown coming. We're in the top 2. Holy shit. It's a war. We got Jason on Jason Crime right now. So that's really interesting. I'm actually going to watch number 2 in the rank. I'm going to watch it again. One more time. This is turning out to be a dogfight for the top. It really is. This channel has grown. Got about 38 new subs since we started. Most of them all came from the other channel. And I've got to remember to try to promote the other channel on the other channel. Black and White Sports. My God, what can I say? Let me give you actual... let me give you actual statistics for Black and White Sports, because it has went absolutely insane. 169,000 views in the last 28 days. 2.2 thousand new subscribers. Yeah, that channel's blown up. And we crossed, this is nuts. We crossed 3,000 subs this morning. We have already crossed 3,100 subs today. So just since I got up at 5 o'clock, we've gained 104 new subs since 5 a.m. So in 12 hours. You know, that's wild. That's absolutely wild. That channel's really blown up. Me and John's been working hard on it. And it's good. It's kind of odd because it's got more momentum than either one of our other channels right now. And that's considering both the other channels are growing steadily. Road Rants is 2,249 subs. And I just set a record with 44,000 views this month. 432 new subscribers in the last 28 days over there. What I will tell you is that more than doubles my previous record. It actually is 2.5 times almost my previous most subscribers, new subscribers. So switching the channel over was great, and it worked. Look, I'm handling some hard topics over there, but I had a Vietnam vet come up to me the other day, a guy that's seen combat, and he listens to my channel here locally, and he thanked me. He was like, I appreciate it. Well, appreciate what you're trying to do right now for the country. I'm just some dude, I'm just some dude talking. But I got a voice, and I feel like things are important. Okay, so enough with channel catch-up. I had 2 topics for tonight. One being a special request from my friend John Matrix. He wanted me to give him my thoughts on Knight Rider. Knight Rider, there's a movie being made. It's a reboot. And it's coming from Spyglass. And most importantly, it's coming from James Wan. As we know, it ran from 82 to 86 as a series on NBC about Kit, sort of the wonder car, and David Hasselhoff was Michael Knight. And Hasselhoff was great in that series. Epitome of 80s type series, right? It was sort of right as Miami Vice was really starting to kick ass. There was a certain amount of cool factor with Knight Rider. Okay, so here's my take. I had asked John, well, who's making it? And he says Spyglass. But I hadn't found out at that point that James Wan was involved. I've got some confidence in James Wan, actually. He directed the first Saw movie, which, as a horror guy, I consider a classic. I think I actually have it in my top 5 horror movies ever. The first Saw. He also co-wrote Saw 3. He produced all the Saws. And he directed Fast and the Furious 7, which I actually like a lot. Now, there's a couple of things. Number one, we don't want the thing to go political, right? As long as they try to stay true to the tone of the original series, and, that's the complicated part in doing reboots. That's why you almost rather them leave it alone, because it's hard to capture the tone. Now, what I think would be amazing, set the thing in the 80s. That'd be very cool. If they'd bite the bullet, set the movie in the 80s, in that same time period with the same car. Now, I was thinking about, well, who the hell would play Hasselhoff's part? I don't know. What I will say is Ryan Gosling was great in Drive. He was great in Drive. That's a highly underrated movie. Fatal J turned me on to that. He wasn't wrong. It's a really good movie. Now, they can't get the casting. They can't go out in left field. Like, in other words, as much as I like The Rock, I don't want to see The Rock play Michael Knight. I just don't. Sadly, my real choice for this role would have been Paul Walker, probably. I think he could have pulled it off. And there would have been some connection to him and Cars already because of the Fast and the Furious franchise. But Paul's not with us anymore. So I've got another dark horse. Cole Hauser, who was actually in Fast and the Furious 2, but Cole Hauser, who plays Rip Wheeler on Yellowstone now, he would be an interesting Michael Knight. He even has that curly hair. Would be an interesting Michael Knight. And, people might want to go bring him up and they'll be like, whoa. You got to remember, he's playing a role where he's playing a cowboy right now. But Cole Hauser was in Pitch Black with Vin Diesel, Riddick. Great movie. Highly underrated horror sci-fi movie. Part of the Riddick trilogy. But Cole Hauser was in that. He's been in some pretty decent flicks. Now, so again, John Matrix, I'm okay with this, provided it doesn't go political. I don't want those narratives in these movies, which is kind of a hard ask right now. Because I seem like it feels like something that's automatically going to happen now. Which is so scary. You know, with these films. Now, The Mandalorian. What the Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau learned from Marvel in the MCU. Jon Favreau discusses keeping the stories engaging in The Mandalorian and how Kevin Feige helped him with that. I just came across this and was like, we're going to read this together. Jon Favreau has revealed... Why the hell my screen jumped on me? Okay. Revealed the influence he took from Marvel Studios when crafting The Mandalorian. Disney Plus was a major hit with the first live-action Star Wars film, and fans are eagerly awaiting Season 2. And he has come out and said that Season 2 will absolutely just be an extension of Season 1. I mean, it's going to just connect right in. It's going to feel like, a continuation of that story directly. There were some worries that from the public health crisis there was going to be a delay, but Favreau and Disney has assured everybody there will not be. After the first episode debuted, it was clear that people from all over were really into the show. Jon Favreau had this to say about crafting simpler stories with new characters. Quote, "We really wanted to wind it back to the things that inspired the original Star Wars. Really get it small in scale and tell simple stories, because part of what you inherit when you're going to see Star Wars now is the whole history, because the stories have been told for decades, and it was nice with the new medium to be able to start with a new set of characters and introduce a new audience." You know, that sounds like somebody that respects Star Wars. I really wanted to wind it back to what inspired the original Star Wars. Rian Johnson, anybody. Hardcore Star Wars fans and people who aren't even familiar with the franchise got swept up in Baby Yoda fever. The Mandalorian was able to seemingly please just about everyone, which is a balance that Jon Favreau learned from working with Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige. You can read what Favreau had to say about working with Feige and his influence on The Mandalorian below. Quote, "But we always knew, and this is something I learned over at Marvel and working with Feige, is you always want to keep the core fans in mind." How about that? Because they have been the ones that's been keeping the torch lit for many, many years. But these are also stories for young people and for new audiences. These are myth, and so we want to have outstretched hands to people who might not have the background. So you're really telling two stories at once. You're telling the story for the people with fresh eyes, and you're telling stories for the people who have been with the properties and the stories for many, many years, and the characters. And make sure you're honoring them well. And it feels like this much of a shot at Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson. Am I wrong? I just look, we've heard all the negativity towards fans from Johnson and Kennedy. He's telling you, make sure that you're honoring them as well. That's beautiful, Jon Favreau. Jon Favreau, with the help of Dave Filoni, was able to create a new show, cater to hardcore fans, while keeping fresh and new young audiences in mind. And let's see, while he learned a lot from Dave Filoni, it was beneficial for the relationship. Let's see, it was a beneficial relationship for both men. Favreau gained an encyclopedic Star Wars mind from Filoni, while Filoni gained knowledge and experience of working in live action. Yeah. So, Because, yeah, that was really sort of the worry with Dave, right? Was he was only animated. What was he going to do? And now it's pretty certain he's going to be the one running the Ahsoka show. I don't know if he's going to direct all episodes of that or what's going to happen. I suspect Dave, he's only directing one episode of The Mandalorian this year, and I expect it will be the Ahsoka episode. I think she's only going to be in one episode. That's my guess anyway. Maybe the season finale. There is one episode, and I believe it's going to be Chapter 7, which is going to be the second to the last episode, which is usually a really good one when it comes to series. Or second to the last before the season finale. I believe that one is titled The Sorceress. I think that's going to be your Ahsoka episode. So, we'll see. We'll see there. But that's interesting. Look, the one thing you can say, regardless of what Feige may be doing now, the one thing you can say about Feige before sort of, before the end of the Infinity Saga, he did some good stuff. He had a hell of a run. I mean, one of the greatest cinematic runs we've ever seen. Those Marvel movies, there were a couple I didn't love in there, but for the most part, there was some good ones. All three of those Captain America movies were really good. Iron Man 2 was good. Infinity War was really good. Look, Endgame's good, but Infinity War is excellent. And he tied them in. Feige had them all tied in beautifully. And that's how you're about to see Star Wars interwoven in the same manner that we saw the MCU interwoven over. And this is the key. That took like 10 or 12 years. That's good storytelling. That's good long-term vision that culminated with Endgame. And Favreau picked that. Honor your core fans. And Feige did a pretty good job with that. He did. Now, what he's doing with the Eternals and all that, I can't stand what he's doing with that, but let's face it, I don't give a rat's ass about the Eternals anyway. The only real product Marvel's got coming I want to see is the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is going to be on Disney+. And I guess maybe to a lesser extent, I do want to see what Blade's going to look like. But I want Wesley Snipes, and that's going to be part of the problem there. Who knows? Maybe I'll be surprised by that. I can't put any confidence in Spider-Man. I hate those Spider-Man. Well, Homecoming's okay. Far From Good is terrible. It is, in my opinion, it's probably the worst Marvel movie. Captain Marvel was better than Far From Home. Or Far From Good. Yeah. If that tells you anything. Because of Sam Jackson. Sam Jackson is great in Captain Marvel. He is really good. And that cat really knocks it out of the park, too. You notice I didn't bring up the star of Captain Marvel. She was just meh. Just meh. Has anybody noticed that she actually has a butt now? Where did she buy that butt from? Did she buy that butt during COVID lockdown? Because remember, Brie Larson had no butt. And all of a sudden, she got a butt. Me and SC Reviews was talking about that on Twitter one day. He was like, where did she get that? I was like, I don't know. All right, it is what it is. That's the kind of podcast action you can expect here. Look, again, podcast, longer informal thing, but I love this. We covered 2 topics. We talked about what's going on with all the channels. So make sure you hit subscribe. I would love to do 4 of these a week. I would. But I got to do smaller videos because, look, if there's a trailer that actually comes out, the Justice League trailer is coming. The Zack Snyder Justice League trailer is coming. I can't wait to do a reaction to that. I can't wait to do a reaction to that. That might grow the channel some, actually. Tell me what you think. Road Squadron. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
King Kong in the